Femi, you're not a great fan of Nigel Farage, are you? And you've taken issue with a number of his statements and political campaigning messages. But this is, you know, some people like Tom would say, well, then this is what happens. Why shouldn't it?
First of all, yeah, you're right. I thoroughly oppose Nigel Farage on pretty much everything. We saw what happened with Stephen Yaxley Lennon a couple of weeks ago.
Tommy Robinson, in his real name.
It took all of 2 seconds for him to go from getting a milkshake thrown at him to physically punching a guy. It will escalate quickly. The fact is, it won't stay there.
So you admire Nigel Farage's restraint in this situation? You find yourself praising him for holding back for the first time? Maybe.
I don't think I'll be praising Nigel Farage anytime soon for anything.
I mean, Tom Peck, I mean, you find this all hilarious. Would it be equally hilarious if female politicians were having milkshakes thrown at them?
I don't know. If Heidi Allen or someone had some milkshakes spilt over them, I'm not quite sure.
No, hang on. It's not someone spilling a milkshake. It's someone actively throwing a milkshake.
It was a sort of an underarm lob.
No, it's not an accident. They're deliberately throwing it. My question remains, hilarious though you may find it, that these right-wing male political figures are getting this thrown at them. If it was female left-wing politicians, would you find it as hilarious?
Well, the gender question is a difficult one because there is...
Why is it difficult?
Because it is, to a certain extent, an act of violence, but there is a nuance there because it isn't...
So an act of violence against a male politician is fine, but against a female politician, unacceptable?
Well, I stop short of it necessarily being violent to a certain extent because it is a
violent act.
It's done to embarrass someone. It's done to make them look stupid.
Right, but only 4 years ago, we had a female politician shot dead in the street by some deranged person, right?
Yeah, and absolutely...
The next person coming up to Nigel Farage might have acid in their hands.
Absolutely.
I mean, at what point do we stop finding this hilarious? I don't find any attack on any politician
For me,
like this.
Let me
just answer the question first.
I completely reject any attempt to draw some sort of sliding scale that goes from somebody trying to embarrass someone by having milkshake thrown at them that leads then...
But you wouldn't like it with a female politician?
That is a difficult question to answer.
It is. That's why I'm asking you the question.
But certainly it's not to do with my own political opinions. Right. Jeremy Corbyn was hit with it, but that was...
But would you be finding it as funny? Final time I'm going to ask you this. Would you find it as funny if this was happening to Anna Soubry and other female politicians who've already been subjected to a lot of hateful stuff?
I certainly think that every so often, if a politician is hit...
Would you defend Anna Soubry having a milkshake thrown at her?
I have tried to answer this.
You haven't answered it. The whole point is you haven't answered it.
Well, there is a certain amount of subtlety and nuance in when you laugh at something.
The whole point is you haven't answered the question. Would you find that acceptable?
I think it is conceptually possible that if it were to happen to a woman, it would still be funny, yes.
You would find it funny if random men ran up to Anna Soubry today and threw a milkshake at her.
Well, that isn't what I said.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. That's what happened to Nigel Farage.
Yeah, but I've tried to answer
one you find hilarious, other one you can't really answer. Femi, isn't this the problem? Is that actually, we would all find it grotesquely unfunny and really seriously wrong if men were running up to female politicians and throwing milkshakes at them, right? It wouldn't seem funny. It would seem very intimidating and very wrong. Nigel Farage, I know, has been subjected to just as bad threats, if not worse, than any other politician in the country. I don't think that's right either.
Well, I'm making the point that it is completely unacceptable. And Brendan Cox, the widower of Joe Cox, made the point that if you do this sort of thing, it normalises violence and intimidation. But the fact is that the fundamental objective of the top priority of the left right now has to be the European elections. And Nigel Farage is at the top of the polls. He is about to be the face of the UK for 5 years, well, 10 consecutive years. And he is somebody that the young people in this country fundamentally oppose because he is
and by the way, perfectly entitled to. I wouldn't personally vote for him. However, what I would say is, what has this achieved either, Tom, right? Whatever side of the divide you're on, with these elections coming, the front page of every paper today is Nigel Farage as a victim. How does that do anything to help stop him surging in popularity?
Absolutely nothing, and it hasn't achieved anything. I'm making one small point, and it's just that it's OK. We don't all have to live in this febrile world where everyone hates each other. It's OK on the odd occasion when a bit of food is thrown at a politician to just laugh.
But it's not OK for you if it happens to a woman, or is it?
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, you haven't really said either way,
I'd love it if it's...
I mean, I keep trying to ask you a simple question. Would you support someone doing it to Anna Soubry today?
It hasn't happened.
What if they did it?
It would depend on the circumstances.
I'm just giving you the circumstance. Somebody runs up, a man, a big guy, runs up to Anna Soubry today and throws a milkshake at her. Would you say that's funny?
Probably not.
Thank you. So, in other words, There is a difference.
No,
you're saying.
because I'm trying to suggest there is some nuance and stuff.
Nigel Farage is a disgusting person who should not be representing this country at the European stage. But the way to deal with that is by exposing him for what he is, and that is a racist. When he unveiled that Breaking Point post in 2016, the UK is not part of the EU's common asylum policy, which means he used people who had nothing to do with Brexit because of the colour of their skin.
And all this is perfectly legitimate political argument, right? But I like the fact that you, as someone who doesn't like Farage, wants to vote against him, wants people to stop him.
On Thursday, this Thursday.
I like the fact that you are not encouraging people to think it's funny to run up and throw stuff at him, right?
Okay.
Because I don't think it is funny, because I think that in the wrong minds, in the wrong twisted minds, as we saw with Joe Cox, these lines get blurred, and then some lunatic comes out and they start killing people.
So me on the left.
What's unacceptable? You don't think Joe Cox was murdered?
Of course I think Joe Cox was murdered. What on earth are you talking about? It's unacceptable to suggest...
You think it's unacceptable to do it to women, but OK to do it to men?
No, I haven't said that.
You did say that.
You
literally said that.
Regarding the issue of it, whether or not it's funny.
Tom, we can literally play back the tape. You literally said that if it happened to Anna Soubry, you would not find that acceptable.
I have tried to suggest there is some subtlety and nuance involved, and you have tried to
There's no subtlety and nuance. It's either acceptable or it's not.
Regarding whether or not...
It's either acceptable or it's not.
Regarding whether or not it's funny, yes. I find the image of Tommy Robinson covered in Milkshake hilarious, whereas somebody on the right would find the image of me covered in Milkshake
but you see, when you
hilarious.
do it even to...
But it's still
even
wrong.
doing it to Tommy Robinson just empowers him.